Gallup has just released its first post-impeachment poll of congressional approval, and the results are actually shocking. For the first time in nearly 15 years, Americans approve of the Republican Party in Congress more than they approve of the Democrats. They've flipped a near 15-year trend. The impeachment backfire is so bad, Republicans took the lead in approval in a year where the Democrats are desperately trying to maintain their control of the House. I gotta say, this looks like the biggest mistake they could have made, because following impeachment, they are now poised for a crushing defeat in November. But these polls are actually interesting because they follow similar trends. Like many people saying the left has gone too far left, with less people in this country identifying themselves as liberal, more people identifying themselves as conservative. It seems like the Democrats keep making these mistakes. Well, perhaps they finally realized that they were making mistakes, and now we're hearing, as of the beginning of this month, the latest investigations into Trump are starting to dry up. They may be abandoning them. Dare I say, maybe they finally learned to drop the years of insane scandal investigations against Trump and actually focus on issues. What's that? They're just smearing Trump in the media now? Oh, they're not actually planning to talk about kitchen table issues and advocate for why we should vote for them? I should have figured as much. The big thing happening now, following the latest smears and scandals which failed and hurt the Democrats, is that we're seeing censorship of Trump supporters. We're seeing censorship on social media. And we are seeing Trump get smeared by these big tech companies and media outlets as publishing misleading, false videos and things like this. Now, we've seen this for a while, but it seems like the next big play, and I know this is not necessarily coming from the official political Democrats, but certainly their allies, is to ignore the fact that Joe Biden is a garbage candidate and to play up the fact that Trump publishes misleading videos. The reason why I segue in this regard and find it interesting is that the establishment, which includes people in media and the mainstream politicians, for the longest time were propping up these scandals. Now that it's all fallen flat and hurt the Democrats, they're shifting, it would seem. Joe Biden is being propped up. Joe Biden is being accused left and right. I mean that literally, like progressive left and right are calling him out. And the media is lying about it, protecting Joe Biden, smearing Trump, and even the progressives are calling out the media machine for defending Biden. This is the next big play. The shift is going to be from smearing Trump with scandals to smearing him in the press and defending Joe Biden amid every single scandal you could possibly imagine. But let's read the first news. What exactly happened with this congressional approval rating? Just how well are the Republicans doing, and how bad have the Democrats done following this failed impeachment? Before we get started, head over to timcast.com/donate if you would like to support my work. There's many ways you can give, but the best thing you can do, share this video. Maybe it'll be a wake-up call to many people who are trapped in an echo chamber. And other than that, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Most of you actually, surprisingly, don't, but you come back all the time. I know, because YouTube says it. So if you want to make sure you get access to my videos, because YouTube has been de-ranking me and many other political commentators, then make sure you hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, or don't. You don't have to. I don't know. Maybe I'm just terrible at what I do and you're watching anyway, but thanks for being here for now. Let's read the story from The Hill. GOP approval rises. Democrats fall post-impeachment in Gallup poll. The Hill reports, a new Gallup poll finds congressional Republicans with a higher approval rating than Democrats in the wake of Trump's impeachment and acquittal in the Senate. Republicans get a 40% approval rating compared to 35% for Democrats. Now, this is also fascinating because we heard in the media all day and night, it was a sham. They weren't going to allow witnesses. Oh, harumph, said the Democrats and their journalist allies. This was a sham trial and the Republicans were just defending the president. But whoa, what's that? Somehow, even amid all of the punditry complaints, America actually approves of the Republicans shutting it down. Incredible. Let's read more. The Gallup poll found that since October, shortly after Democrats launched the impeachment inquiry, the approval rating for Republicans in the Gallup poll has gone up 6 points from 34 to 40. Democrats saw their approval rating fall over the same period from 38 to 35%. The disapproval rating for Democrats rose 57 to 62. I hate to say, I told you so, but I did. And they say, but Tim is just biased. Dude, You know what, man? I'm not always right. I've got some bad predictions, but I'm right enough that I think when I can say this over and over again, that it's been tracking this way for months. How many videos have I done about backfire? How many times have I said the impeachment is backfired? Probably got like 15 videos of every single way this has backfired on them. They've fallen on their faces. Because like I said, man, you need to focus on issues people care about. Guess what? Healthcare. Really important. Where yet? Nowhere to be found, I guess. Sure. The findings are also significant. Since Gallup began polling of lawmakers in '99, Democrats have tended to have a higher approval rating than Republicans. Gallup wrote that the approval rating for Republicans has largely gone up because Republican and Republican-leaning respondents are giving them higher marks for their work. So basically what it sounds like is that Republicans are extremely enthusiastic, whereas Democrats are rather stagnant, and more Republicans disapprove. Well, actually, moderates and Republicans, I believe it is. We'll read. Gallup wrote that the approval. Right, so we read that. This was the most shocking part to me. Check this out. Gallup also found that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had a 33% approval rating, the highest number he has achieved since the pollsters started rating him in 2010. McConnell's figures largely rose on the strength of the Republicans, perhaps because they favored his handling of the impeachment fight. His rating among Republicans and Republican-leaning respondents rose 15 points. I cannot believe Mitch McConnell has gone up. That's impressive. You got to be really, really bad at what you do to make it so that Mitch McConnell goes up in the ratings, because, like, a lot of people don't like that guy. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's approval number remained roughly the same at 39%, though her unfavorable rating rose from 50 in October to 55% now. The Gallup poll was conducted. Yeah, we get it. Now, here's something really funny. Mitt Romney's apparently more favorable among Democrats than Republicans now. That don't ask me why. I don't get it. But let's read the implications here. And then I want to talk to you about where we go from here. Gallup says Republicans in Congress appear to have benefited from the impeachment of the president. Duh, please. What's a more extreme version of the word duh? Is there like a synonym for like duh to like a millionth degree? Trump was raising money before it went to the trial. His approval rating was going up. We knew it was going to happen. And now Congress, the approval for Republicans in Congress is higher than that of Democrats. I can only say duh. And I told you so many times. Likewise, the favorable ratings of Republicans, Trump and McConnell, have risen after the impeachment. Meanwhile, the public's ratings of congressional Democrats and Democratic leaders are the same or slightly worse than before impeachment, given no change in favorability or approval, but higher unfavorable and disapproval ratings. Say in the coming months, as America's memories of impeachment fade, their opinions may change. The Democratic presidential nominating contests have already largely superseded Trump's impeachment in the news. And that's true. But check it out. This story from March 1st from Fox. Democrats' investigations flatline despite vows to pursue Trump after Senate impeachment trial. I thought to myself, if they're abandoning all of these investigations, what are they going to go for? Perhaps they've learned their lesson. The investigations were a net negative across the board every single time. What is wrong with these people? They don't learn. It took them that many attempts. It's been nearly 4 years, man. Maybe 5, because the Russia thing started in 2015. Well, now we can see what started to happen after this. So there's always some kind of, attack or manipulation. And now I certainly don't want to imply that all of these people are working together. No, I look at it more like dominoes falling over. It was just a couple weeks ago. It's about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, that Reddit purged half of the Donald's top moderators and plans to replace them with Reddit-approved mods. Let me give you a quick breakdown. I'm just going to gloss over this very shortly and move into how the media has now been manipulating the conversation around Trump. And this will be the next big smear against the president. There is a forum called The Donald on Reddit. Okay, it's basically a place, the largest gathering of Trump supporters on the internet, basically. Well, they've been under hard censorship rules for some time, and it seems like what Reddit was doing, you literally have a CEO who admitted to manipulating comments from Trump supporters to make them look bad, who apologized for it, who's even said he thinks they have the power to manipulate elections. And then we see this, the largest Trump forum gets their top moderators purged. And Reddit, the company, is now trying to replace them with approved moderators. Come on, that's creepy. Now, I'm not saying that's at all connected to the establishment party. I'm just saying you have all of these interests in high-level, technology companies, in media, and in politics, and they want the same things. It's not a concerted effort. It's more like a standalone complex. I love that saying. It's basically that a bunch of people do something in a similar time or in a specific way that makes it look like a synchronized or conspiratorial effort, when in reality they're all just using their power to the best of their abilities to make something happen. In this regard, I don't think Reddit was forced to do what they're doing. I think they want to do it of their own volition. I think the CEO is biased, and they're actively going to shut down one of the most prominent places for Trump supporters to gather. And mind you, according to, I believe it was MIT, the Donald is one of the most prolific generators of memes. So this is pretty significant. This is a huge shutdown for Trump's influence from his base. But now we move on to the media smears portion of this lovely segment. Check this story out. I love it. Trump and GOP mount coordinated campaign to paint Biden as senile. The president settles on a schoolyard strategy to take out his likely general election opponent. That's been the smear the entire time. Now, I don't think impeachment and the backfiring, you can't look at them and say these are the exact same things, but hold on. What did they claim about Trump in the scandals? It was always about going after his political rival. The big impeachment, the backfire of it, was that Trump was trying to dig up dirt on Joe Biden. They're now trying to claim in the media that Trump and the GOP are mounting a coordinated campaign to smear Joe Biden. That's been the entire effort the whole time. So that's the through line here. They tried to smear Trump as cheating and impeached him for it and failed. Now the media is mounting this fake narrative. It's an exaggerated narrative that Trump is trying to smear his opponent with lies. That's been the through line the whole time. Check this out. I love this. You're going to love it too. They say, President Donald Trump stood before about 500 of the Republican Party's biggest patrons at his Mar-a-Lago resort on Friday and raised a topic few in the audience expected. Are you joking? Joe Biden's mental capacity. What? How could Politico write this? Everyone's been talking about Joe Biden's mental state. It's been all over Fox News, dude. Trump walked the donors through a list of Biden's recent verbal stumbles, such as his recent declaration that he was running for Senate. Trump questioned whether the former vice president had the mental stamina to sustain the rigors of the general election campaign. But I can just point out, Biden didn't just say he was running for the Senate. He said he was running for Senate, and if you don't like it, vote for the other Biden. He also recently said that we were Biden-Bama Democrats. He literally called himself Bama. Wow. Then the president appeared to give donors permission to leak his remarks about Biden to the media. I would hope you would not repeat that, Trump said sarcastically, according to an attendee. With Biden emerging as the likely Democratic nominee, Trump has launched a concerted, near daily campaign to raise doubts about the 77-year-old's mental acuity. The president has been bolstered by a conservative echo chamber flooding social media with video clips highlighting Biden's gaffe. Ooh, that is just too good. My favorite part of the whole article. They can't help but lie and think we are all morons. Now, I will mention that the Bernie Sanders supporters should have called it the press a long time ago. Because when people like me were saying, listen, they'll smear Trump, they'll come for you in 2 seconds. You saw what they did to Bernie in 2016. You think you're getting a free pass this time simply because you stood next to them yelling Orange Man bad? The answer is no. They will smear Bernie all day and night, the same as they will smear Trump. Now, I want to highlight this. Look at this real quick. Look, they say a conservative echo chamber. You know what? I got to give it to Politico. They did excellent research. Let me show you the conservative echo chamber that I've been listening to, which has informed me that, yes, Joe Biden is in fact not mentally sound. Because like I said, it's only conservatives, right? Noted conservative firebrand Kyle Kalinske, who's got roses in his profile, who said, Joe Biden has sharp cognitive decline. You can't risk running this against Trump. He needs help. How about noted conservative Jill Stein? Is the conservative echo chamber good enough for you yet? Biden's team is trying to hide him to avoid any more of these inappropriate, bizarre, and hostile interactions with voters and reporters. It seems he can't control his outbursts due to Biden's cognitive decline. How can Dems want to subject this man to a long, hard campaign? Or how about noted conservative firebrand Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, who said, Biden lies nonstop. He is going to get caught, okay? The media is covering for him, but they're not going to be able to cover when the Republicans come for him, and when Trump comes for him, he's not going to beat Trump. Now, I don't think I have to say this, but I'm going to just in case. None of those people are conservatives. They're all progressive. Kyle Kulinski is a huge Bernie Sanders supporter. That's the point. Jill Stein of the Green Party is not a conservative, and she has a little sunflower in her name. They're the ones, they smear her as a third-party spoiler. She's calling out Joe Biden's mental state. Kyle Kulinski is. They all are. And Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks notes in his furious meltdown over the loss of Bernie Sanders, the media is covering for Joe Biden. This could not have been exemplified better than this story by Politico. The media has been covering for Joe Biden every single step of the way. Now, I don't like to say, that the journalists are Democrats, but come on, man. Come on. The whole impeachment fiasco was them covering for Joe Biden. You know that a court recently said there's going to be an investigation into Joe Biden's role in the firing of the prosecutor. The thing that sparked the impeachment inquiry, Trump looking into Biden, the media ran cover for Joe Biden, just like they're doing right now. His mental state is failing him. Progressives are calling it out, and the media is covering up for it, and we know it. Which brings me now to how big tech is playing this role. Now, I know I mentioned the Reddit thing early on. I wanted to highlight that because I wanted to show you how the media frames it before I get into the next big smear. Check this out. Robin Voss video shows Joe Biden saying we can only re-elect Donald Trump, and they rule it as mostly false. Let me tell you what's really fascinating about this story. There's a clip going around, a clip that is out of context. I take issue with it. I'm not a big fan. And it was posted by Dan Scavino, who I believe he's Donald Trump's social media manager. In it, Joe Biden fumbles and stumbles and basically says in a quote, we can only re-elect Donald Trump. However, the full clip shows Biden saying we can only re-elect Donald Trump if, in fact, we get engaged in this circular firing squad. We need to run a progressive campaign. The video was snipped so that he stops and only says we can only re-elect Donald Trump. I'm not a big fan because it creates the impression that Joe Biden accidentally endorsed the president. But guess what? This is called politics as usual. They have always done this, and I've never been a fan of it. I have no problem calling out the Trump campaign and, saying you guys should not have done this, whether it was intentional, an accident, or otherwise. Here's what's funny, though. In this instance, it is still more likely to have been accidental than intentional because it wasn't a campaign ad. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying, you could potentially, if you choose, give him the benefit of the doubt and say Dan Scavino just didn't realize because he didn't see the full clip. Maybe he saw it. He got the location wrong. More importantly, I have no problem criticizing it. And you should be able to criticize it fine, the same. The issue is Twitter has labeled the video as a manipulated tweet. You know why that's really, really funny? Joe Biden launched his campaign lying about the president and showing a snipped clip that did the exact same thing. Did Twitter flag Joe Biden's content? Did the media call out Joe Biden for lying? No, they doubled down and defended him on this. Let me make it absolutely clear. The Trump campaign was wrong to post an out of context clip of Joe Biden. Fine. They do it in politics all the time. I do not like it. I will absolutely criticize it right now. But guess what? Welcome to reality. Joe Biden made multiple campaign ads smearing the president with the very fine people hoax. In the full clip, Donald Trump says, I am not talking about these bad people. There were some good people. There is context here that was removed. And Joe Biden used it to literally launch his campaign. You want to criticize that? And I did. Do it. You want to criticize what Trump posted? Fine, do it. But big tech and the media are protecting one side of this. So when I look at Donald Trump and his campaign and they post this, I just say, yeah, welcome to politics. Do I like it? No. When I see Biden do it, I say the same thing. Up and until Twitter intervenes and flags the video as a manipulated tweet. It gets even better. I'm showing the Reddit thread on this on purpose because the first comment is Twitter is also shutting down accounts of videos posting him being weird with children. That's right. If you post videos critical of Biden, showing him doing creepy things, you will get suspended. Welcome to the game. It has been rigged from the start. And I'll tell you what, I am very frustrated with the Bernie Sanders people for not calling out the complete and utter BS from the get-go. Because now they are using it all against you. They suspend conservatives. They have been biased against conservatives because they do not like Trump. And it is obvious. And where are we now? Now that it's come down to the wire and it's Bernie versus Biden. When the Bernie people are calling out Joe Biden, first, they get erased from the narrative outright. They try and smear Trump with it. But when the Bernie people start calling out Joe Biden, they get suspended on Twitter. Hey, man, I'm not going to rag on you and laugh. No schadenfreude here. I say simply, welcome to the fight. When you see the media machine come for you, perhaps now you understand why so many Trump supporters and conservatives have been calling for free speech on social media platforms. A part of me I'm disappointed. A part of me wants to gloat. Told you so, but no. Let's be real. When the Bernie people come up and point to Joe Biden's mental state, I say, here, brother, you are right. I will always encourage good behavior and people saying the right thing. I'm not going to hold it against you. If you didn't call for free speech and now you're being censored, I will defend your right to free speech. If you're on social media ragging on the orange man all day and night, and then you call out Joe Biden so they ban you, I will absolutely defend your right to call the orange man bad. This is the problem. They're suppressing speech to benefit their establishment weirdo who can't speak straight. I'm not a fan of Bernie Sanders. Not at all. I'm a fan of principles and integrity. I can criticize the president. I got no problem. Bernie, Joe Biden, none of it, no problem. Bernie's got stupid ideas. Trump just posted an out of context video. And the Joe Biden camp, that guy can't speak straight. But the rules aren't being applied fairly. So my criticism shouldn't even matter. I can say 1,000,001 things bad about the president. I can say 1,000,001 things bad about all the Democrats as well. But it is a fact to point out that the media machine and social media are biased against Trump in favor of establishment Democrats. To a certain degree, they have benefited Bernie 100%. The media never called out Bernie over the Project Veritas leaks, and it's probably because they don't want to legitimize Project Veritas. So it's imperfect. Bernie gets smeared. He does. The media is unfair to him. They lie about him and they prop up Biden, but they give it to the Trump supporters so much worse. All that matters at the end of the day is that you recognize Jill Stein is being smeared over this. They're calling her a Russian asset now because she called out Joe Biden. They're pretending like the only people who are questioning Joe Biden's mental acuity are Republicans, when in reality, regular Americans are as well. They don't want you to realize they're trying to unify the party. They are going to try to excise the progressives and the far left. And I don't blame them. That civil war has been going on for some time now. Donald Trump responded to Twitter with a letter firing back, basically saying, if you're going to call our videos manipulated, you need to call out Joe Biden's. You think Twitter's actually going to do it? Of course they won't. Here's where we are. The Democratic establishment and the press have covered for Joe Biden every step of the way. For some reason, in 2014, they called his family, they said it was soft corruption what he was engaged in. These crony deals with Burisma that enriched his family, enriched his son. These other deals where he flies on planes, has meetings with government officials. The media called him out 2014, but what's that? Joe Biden now is about to run. Now that he's running for president, now the media defense steps up. Now when it comes to Donald Trump wanting to investigate potential soft corruption, as it was called by Politico, the same outlet that's now acting like Trump's just smearing Joe Biden, they called it soft corruption. I believe it was Politico. Soft corruption in the family of Joe Biden. Today, the narrative is flipped. Joe Biden has certainly done nothing wrong in Ukraine. Don't bring it up. Joe Biden is totally mentally fit, even though we know that they are. Look at this. The new Biden, shorter speeches and less time for gaffes. Biden's campaign is hiding him. Jill Stein was completely correct about this. And you will see, well, it's not everyone in media. I don't want you to think literally every journalist. I think it's a mistake. The Washington Post is certainly calling out Joe Biden. But you can see there are journalists that are aligned with the Democratic Party who will lie, cheat, and steal to smear Bernie, to smear Trump, That's the game they've been playing. Bernie is only getting the short end of the stick now because he's a threat to the establishment. For a while, he's been for a while, and they've smeared him for a while. But they needed to take out Trump. They needed to stop Trump and smear him, and they tried, and it failed. Let me just wrap this up by saying, we have seen the failure of the impeachment attempt against Trump and the defense of Joe Biden, because what you need to understand about impeachment, it wasn't just about trying to remove Trump. It was about providing a shield for Joe Biden so that if Trump tried to investigate him, they would lie and say, this was Trump trying to dig up dirt on an opponent. When in reality, it was Trump just seeing a viral video and being like, look at that, looks crazy. Trump even said in leaked audio, Bernie was who he was afraid of. So don't be surprised now. The establishment, they know Bernie Sanders is a better candidate than Biden in a lot of ways. I mean, come on, guys. You might not like Bernie Sanders because of his policy ideas, and I agree he's got bad policy ideas. But at least Bernie can talk. I know Bernie had a heart attack, but come on. Someone who had a heart attack and is at risk for another one with socialist ideas, I think is a bad candidate. But at least they can talk. Joe Biden, they're literally pulling him from his campaign and stopping his speeches because of how bad it's been. He had 2 speeches with teleprompters and he had gaffes so bad. They're not even gaffes. They're like mental breakdowns so bad that they became viral memes. That's how bad Biden is. And they will prop that up. They're nuts. So I invite the Bernie supporters to recognize how the media lies and how social media censorship is protecting now Biden as it comes to impact you. I am no Trump supporter. I'm not a Bernie or Biden supporter. I'm fairly ambivalent. You know, at the end of the day, I don't know or care who's going to win. I think Trump is, or I'm sorry, I think Trump's going to win. I think he's going to absolutely win. There's some good things about him winning. And I got to say, I don't know what Joe Biden necessarily has to offer aside, out of Bernie. But looking at these candidates, I view them all negatively. Like, I wouldn't choose any of them. But you got to admit, when it comes to the economy and a lot of what we've at least seen so far in the past 4 years, Trump is a better choice in a lot of ways than Bernie or Biden. But I will be fair and say, Biden should be out. I understand why people would want to vote for Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. So we'll see how it plays out. Unfortunately, it's going to play out with Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, very likely. The media will use all of its power, the establishment will, to shut out Bernie Sanders. I'll leave it there. Next segment is coming up at youtube.com/TimCastNews, 6 p.m., and I'll see you then.